Welcome back to another episode of Jay's Sideline. What's going on this morning? It's Wednesday, and it's a nice, lovely day, at least so far for what the morning got to say. Shout out to the F&S family, Matt, Isha, my wife, Andrea. Go check out other episodes and segments of Freeze Corner. Go check out the episode of Wives Unscripted. Still waiting on that second one. And then pretty soon we gonna be linking up all together again to hit up another entertaining, I anticipate it to be, episode of the F&S podcast. We got some interesting subjects that we gonna be tackling, and I'm pretty sure everybody got a strong opinion about what we got coming up. So that's all I'm gonna say about that, because some of the things that we got to talk about is very interesting, to say the least. But for now, I was coming back on this to address the latest trades that went down in the NFL. We've seen the Kansas City Chiefs make a move to get a wide receiver, traded to get DeAndre Hopkins off the Titans. Then we seen the Baltimore Ravens just yesterday made a trade to get Deontay Johnson off of the Carolina Panthers. Trading to get some vets right now. So, how does this impact each team? How does this impact the rest of the league? Gonna try to hit that. Starting off with the Chiefs getting DeAndre Hopkins. First of all, thank you. Thank you for taking DeAndre Hopkins off the Titans for two reasons. One, somebody as skilled as that, or somebody that was as good as that, was at the top of the league. I hate to see him rot on a bad team. So to get him off of a bad team, I'm all for that. Especially when you a bad team, I feel like it's just better for you financially. There's no point in paying somebody a lot of money if you're just going to lose games. You better off trading them away to get draft capital, free up some cap space. Because ideally, the way you want to build your team, you should want to build it through the draft. This way, you're not reaching out in free agency, because the market in free agency, you're going to overpay for the best players, because it becomes a bidding war for some. For some, it becomes a bidding war. For others, it's like, I'll take a little less if it means I got a chance to win, but I still want to get paid, which is going to be more than what some teams are willing to pay, or more than what some teams can afford to pay. But if you have all the draft capital and you just build through the draft, develop your own players within, everybody will get their money in appropriate times, and you have a better chance of keeping a good roster together long term. But the other end of that, I just didn't want him in the AFC South anymore, for Jacksonville reasons. Not that we out here really a threat, and not that they out here really a threat. It's just that, you don't want to see your opponents have talent. Let's just say that. You don't want to see your opponents have talent at all. You want to see them, your division rivals, you want to see them as depleted as possible. So that's the selfish reason. Now, how does this impact the Chiefs? Well, this was obviously a move to get somebody to fill the void that the injured Rashee Rice left. Y'all, the Chiefs have not been operating at full strength all year. And they won't have Hollywood Brown at all this year. They learned that before the week one. So they've been down one of the best slot receivers that this league has to offer right now since the beginning of the year. Speed Demon, Hollywood Brown. They've been down without him. That's already bad enough, but having the emergence of Rashee Rice really meant a lot for them. Pairing him with the rookie Xavier Worthy, Speed Demon. We seen his speed on display when they played against the Ravens. But to not have those two receivers, they were still depleted. To get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, what does that mean for them? Well, you got one of the official vets. I don't know how much he has left in the tank, but I know he can still play. DeAndre Hopkins has always been a really good contested catch receiver, jump ball. Hasn't really been the best route runner, but he's not bad at it. But he's physical with his routes, and every now and then he'll get away with a push off. Well, I can see him getting away with a few more times playing for the champs, because a whole lot of people already feel like the league is kind of in their favor. But not trying to talk about that part of it, but from a football aspect, to have another vet that's got proven good hands, some of the best hands in the league, to have another vet like that you can trust and throw the ball to, pair him with the vet presence of Travis Kelce, you got two receiving options right here that will understand how to handle all situations. Because right now, sometimes you can see when young players, they don't know when to get out of bounds. They don't know how to properly catch the ball in certain moments. For an example, coming across traffic, a lot of them will still try to catch with their hands out away from their body. Some of them, I should say some of them. I shouldn't say a lot of them. But with their hands away from their body, which is when you're surrounded by some defenders going through the middle of traffic, catching the ball with your hands away from your body, that opens the door for the defender to swipe the ball out and break it up. So you got to have really strong hands to be successful at catching it like that in traffic consistently. But guys like Nuke, DeAndre Hopkins, that's his nickname, Nuke, if you didn't know. But guys like Nuke, he'll understand the proper way to catch a ball just naturally where he's at on the field. And then the other thing, dragging feet on sideline catches, that's something that he can do. This ultimately gives them the wide receiver threat that every other team has to put their best corner on. So this will free up Xavier Worthy a little bit more. Not that he's been a problem completely as a receiver thus far, but the ability to use his speed could possibly be on display more often. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see for sure. But I do know this, that Nuke wasn't the Chiefs' number one option to go after and trade for. There's better options out there. I just don't know if they were available. Like I heard rumors of Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp off the Rams. If they would have been able to pull that off, that would have been stealing at its finest. Because a team like the Chiefs, they trying to do this three-peat first time ever in NFL history, dynasty type stuff. Draft picks don't mean nothing to them right now, especially if they really trying to accomplish that goal. So they can afford to give up draft picks, especially if it means that they get this three-peat off. But then, the fact that they are undefeated without Nuke, and now they get to work him in on the back end of the season, or the second half of the season. This will be interesting, to say the least, how it shakes out, because they seem to already got the grips on their division. The Raiders, they not ready this year to compete. The Chargers, they don't seem to be ready this year to compete with the top teams. They're like a average, below average team right now. And then the Broncos, they not ready to compete this year. They just, too young. Especially at quarterback with Bo Nix. He's got a lot to learn. And with Sean Payton at the helms, he should be able to get the best of what's available of what Bo Nix has to offer to this game. So right now the Chiefs, as far as their division is, as far as their division is considered, they have really nothing to worry about. They will continue to be a deadly offensive team. When you think about Mahomes' ability to extend plays, he's the best off-schedule quarterback that the league has to offer. Off-schedule meaning that each play is designed to happen under a certain amount of seconds. Most of the time, quarterbacks should be rid of the ball within 3 to 5 seconds after snapping it. Because the play design, it's designed for players or for receivers to be open by those certain seconds, by the time they run out. That's on schedule. But off schedule is when the quarterback essentially can't find somebody open in the moment and has to buy more time. Whether that be standing still in the pocket, not panicking because he's got good protection, or whether that be him scrambling around, evading pass rushers in the process while still keeping his eyes downfield for somebody to break open. So you add Nuke to that, on top of all the speed that they do have at their disposal. Let's not forget they don't got Isaiah Pacheco too. Isaiah Pacheco, he been hurt for a minute, the running back. But Nuke, Kelsey alone, good luck covering them for more than 5 seconds. Good luck. Xavier Worthy is not going to make that any easier with his speed. The fastest person in combine history. So they should be able to, be deadly still. Yet again. And then you pair that with Andy Reid's ability of play creation and design. He's always been an offensive guru type of coach. Especially when you think about them days back in Philly when McNabb was there. So this is just the rich getting richer, pretty much. They're setting themselves up to make another Super Bowl run. Will they? Don't know. Because the other team that made a move in this trade market before the November 5th deadline is the team that has constantly been one of the teams that they bump into, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens trading to get Deontay Johnson off of Carolina. I don't know how impactful this is for them in comparison to Nuke. I feel like Nuke is more impactful than Deontay Johnson is, just because of the fact of Mahomes being the better quarterback from the neck up and being a better quarterback, a better thrower of the ball in certain situations. Lamar has gotten better at throwing the ball, but he still is below a number of quarterbacks in this league, in my personal opinion, when it comes to throwing the ball. But he's still a threat there now. So he's gotten better with that over the course of his career. But the Ravens, they're a run-first team, not a pass-first team. So maybe what this move does is this makes it easier for them to be who they are, a run-first team. Deontay Johnson, he's never really been at the top of the league in consideration of wide receivers, but he's been good. So, you know, it's a lot of wait and see with it's more wait and see with this move than it is with Nuke. Like, you can kind of already see what Nuke can be with the Chiefs. It's not necessarily that way with Deontay Johnson on the Baltimore Ravens, because they're not really a passing team. I mean, it makes the wide receiver room look a little bit better, you can say, because he's the best receiver that they got in their room now, probably. I mean, between him and Zay Flowers, that's where it's going to be between them. Zay, you know, holding down the slot, but, you know, Zay Flowers, one of the knocks on him is he has very small hands. So, you know, drop passes are a concern for somebody with small hands. But anyways, Deontay Johnson going over there, I mean, I can't say that he's a proven number one wide receiver. I can't. He doesn't have the resume of that. He was on Pittsburgh for a while, so that has something to do with this, because Pittsburgh, for at least a decade now, I would say, has not had stability at the quarterback position. They have been, you know, constantly looking for somebody new. And Deontay Johnson hasn't had that benefit. So maybe, just maybe, having one of the top quarterbacks in the league as his quarterback will help him out. Because to go from Pittsburgh in that unsure quarterback situation to go to Carolina with their quarterback situation, thinking that you was going to get something good out of Bryce Young, and he has yet to live up to that first overall pick in the NFL draft status type of player. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it's just constant disappointment for somebody like him in regards to winning. So maybe he just hasn't had the opportunity to show that. This is why I'm saying it's more of a wait and see kind of thing. But he's going to a good team. He's going to a team that's going to be in the playoffs. So this might be his first real, like, meaningful playoff action since he's been a starter in the league. But pairing him with Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, you know, those receivers over there, that's not bad. Then you got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely at tight end, two really good receiving options for the tight end position. But ultimately, Baltimore is still trying to establish the run game with Derrick Henry. That's their game plan. So how many opportunities is he going to get, really, to be effective on the game? That's a question that's yet to be answered, because when you come to a team that already doesn't really, like, they're not pass first, they're trying to run with Derrick Henry, and then your quarterback himself, when he's at his deadliest, is when he's using his legs. I don't know how many times he's going to get the ball. I really don't know. Like, they got to feed Mark Andrews, they got to feed Zay Flowers, they got to feed, all those other guys. So he might get 3 to 5 catches a game. I don't see him being somebody that they'd be like, okay, we need to feed him. Somebody that's going to get 10 plus targets in a game. I don't know if he's going to get that. I don't know if he's going to get that or not. But it's just a good move for both teams, because, from the Deontay Johnson standpoint, you're not on a loser. You're on a team that's looked at as a contender, which is this year they very well might be. And then for Baltimore, it's like you got another receiver that could possibly open the door for more of those runs that Derrick Henry specializes in when he gets his stride going. Because getting the receiving threat keeps you from loading the box, or at least you would think it would. And this is where Deontay Johnson's ability to win the number one cornerback matchup will come into play, because if he can do that, then loading the box is a pretty dangerous game to play, because he could pretty much be eaten in a game if they feed him. Is he that type of wide receiver? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, look, he hasn't proven it yet, but we'll see what he can do with this opportunity. But to keep loading the box to stop Derrick Henry, I don't think this changes the defensive game plan when a team plays against the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think it changes the game plan. Your primary goal playing the Ravens is still going to be to keep Derrick Henry from wrecking havoc and running the ball all crazy. Easier said than done, obviously, but that should still be the game plan. Make Lamar Jackson a thrower instead of a scrambler. That should be the game plan until Lamar Jackson proves that he is a deadly thrower of the ball. Let's just say that, a deadly thrower. Now, has he had games where he popped off throwing the ball? Yeah, he's had games. It's the consistency week in, week out where that needs to be there. Because anybody that's seen that Tampa game, seen that he can do this. He's good to do this at least one time, being deadly throwing the ball. So Deontay Johnson being there, maybe this helps in that aspect for Lamar, because maybe his wide receivers just wasn't good enough. I don't know. Zay Flowers is still developing. Rashad Bateman, he been there for a minute, so we'll see. But outside of that, the November 5th trade deadline has not arrived. It's coming up soon, so look for more teams to make more moves. Unfortunately, Jacksonville's Christian Kirk, he got hurt and he's out for the season. He was one of those names that was circulating in trade rumors. well, now he's not going to be going nowhere. But you got other teams to look out for trades. So I expect to hear more before November 5th. Well, just stay tuned on that one. But outside of that, look out for more stuff me and Matt got coming up. Going to be talking about this basketball season more in depth. I personally will be doing like a halfway mark review of what's been going on with the NFL and my opinions on every team. I'll do a team-by-team breakdown based on what has been successful, what has been disappointing, where do they probably end up going from this point on. But I'll probably wait until about probably one more week or so, trying to catch it at least after the deadline. That way all the movement could have been made as far as trades is concerned. So be on the lookout for that. Look out for most stuff coming from the F&S family. But that's all I got for this morning. Y'all be easy, man. Have a good day at work or wherever it is that you're doing. If you got the day off, big ups to you. Peace.